Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Today we've got a game between Flash and Bisu here on Andromeda. This is from the final of the 2016 Sino-Korean Brood War Carnival. These were not cast in English, so I figured I would cast them on YouTube for those of you who do speak English. And let's get right on into it. Top left-hand corner, we have the orange player. He's Terran, and you know him as Flash. In the bottom right-hand corner, it's gonna be the red Protoss player, Bisu. All right, so Flash versus Bisu from a tournament from 2016. These players still active as of 2016. I haven't seen much from them recently. They're getting up in age, not for humans, but just getting up in age for StarCraft professionals. Right? I mean, they were amazing back in the heyday of Brood War, which is a long time ago now. Okay, I'm going to say heyday, and people are going to get mad at me. Like, Brood War is still hugely popular, and you are correct. Brood War is still hugely popular. But I'm saying back when Brood War was the preeminent esport, that was the thing that got the ball rolling. That was the thing that really showed me and a lot of other people that Brood War, that StarCraft, that video games in general could be considered a sport. An electronic sport played at a highly competitive level that not many people could ever attain perfection for, and in fact, you can't attain perfection at Brood War. Even Flash, even Bisu, even for them, it just becomes a game of who can make the fewest mistakes in the course of trying to win a game of StarCraft Brood War. That is what people love about it. That's what I like about it. That's what you probably like about it as well. So we'll see how these guys do. We'll see what's going on right now in the early stages of this TVP battle between Flash and Bisu. It is a very quick Nexus. Wow, that is a blind fast Nexus out of Bisu. He doesn't have a gateway. He doesn't have gas. He doesn't have a forge. He's just assuming, I guess, that Flash isn't going to have a lot to pressure him with early on, and he's not. He's definitely not here. His barracks is on the way, but it's just about done. You still have to make a Marine out of that one. We've got ourselves an Ursidon hanging out on the space station. How'd you get on the space station, Ursidon? I guess it's asking how the polar bear got onto the island on Lost. I suppose is how that works. And then there's our gateway follow-up from Bisu. So he went Nexus first against Flash, man. Sometimes to beat the best, you got to take risks. You got to take chances, and that's exactly what Bisu is going for right now. He's bringing the probe harass in. Another SCV comes in immediately to chase that probe away. Flash has played against Bisu enough to know that his control is very good. If he doesn't bring another SCV down, he's not saving, or he doesn't bring another SCV down, he's not saving this SCV, is what he's doing. Marine out, probes, it's time to go. Time to get on out of here, but this sucker's warping in very, very soon. There's the gateway, and Zealots are not very good against Terran, especially not in the early game, so there's the Cyber Core. We need those Dragoons. We need those Dragoons early game to defend against attacks from Flash, to put some pressure on Flash, too. There's the expansion coming in quite nicely for Flash. He's not that far behind this warping in Nexus for Bisu, so I'm not sure if Flash fans need to worry about this early stage. Not necessarily going their Terran heroes' way. Both players are working off one gas right now. Very important to get the gas for the high-tier units and the upgrades and everything else. Bisu against Zerg has been known to go for some early Zealot pressure, but against a Terran player who has these ranged units, it's just not going to work. The kiting is too good out of Flash. You just can't really bring it. So you definitely need the Cybernetics core. You need additional gateways here to get that Dragoon count up here. And then we'll see how Flash responds to this. He has been known to open up bio and then transition into a mech. We do have an initial factory on the way here, but again, that doesn't necessarily mean we're going directly into mech here, but we'll keep an eye on it. We'll see exactly what Flash is planning on doing. As always, if you're enjoying the English casts of StarCraft Brood War, go ahead and hit me up at patreon.com/FalconPaladin if you have it within your budget. I understand a lot of you people are students. A lot of you people come to YouTube for your free entertainment and don't necessarily have the money to support your favorite people on Patreon. I understand that. This is obviously very, very optional. I don't have anything behind the paywall, but if you do have a reason and a desire to support me, please feel free to do so at patreon.com/FalconPaladin. Even just for $1 a month is something I really appreciate. I've noticed a flurry of 1s and 2s and a couple bucks a month here and there from you guys, and I really do appreciate it. It warms my heart every time. All right, these are very cool. These power generators and a Rhydon? Yeah, Rhydon up there too. Just blocking off additional attack paths here. It looks like Bisu wants to break this thing down. It's going to take a while. These things that are intended to block up attack paths cannot be killed very easily, or else they would lose all of their merit, all of the reason they exist. Is that a third command center? By golly, Flash is going for a third CC. Sub 5 minutes. He's going to go ahead and land it here. On the low ground, it's a little bit more vulnerable, but by the time it lands, we're going to have tanks. We're going to have siege mode on those tanks, and it's not going to go well for anybody that tries to threaten it. Dragoon has a small window to try to harass here. Singularity charge is almost done in that production tab. Can actually hit this supply depot without incurring the wrath of the bunker if he's careful with positioning. Boy, I don't know. I don't know if that's what he's doing here at all. Dragoon does take down the first power generator. Additional Dragoons coming up here to the top left. Singularity charge is so close to being done. But, as is Siege. Tank on the high ground. Dragoons say, I don't think that tank has Siege. I don't know. Do we want to risk it? Probably not. We probably don't want to risk getting shelled from the high ground by a tank in Siege mode. Shuttle on the way here from Bisu. I love that. That implies some early aggression from him with drops, whether storm drops or otherwise. And there's your Siege mode. All right, so Bisu was not wrong. There's definitely... there's your attack, and now we pull back. Hey, that rhymed. That rhymed a little bit. So third base is going to land. We've got the tank covering most of this attack path. I still feel like Dragoons could sneak up this way, but guess what? Another tank coming in position to cover that eventual attack path here too. So Flash has this covered. He's not worried. He's methodical. He always is. And he's going to be down like 40 supply at some point here and really be in a position to win the game at the end anyway. That's just how he works. Flash lulls you into a false sense of security. Your macro can be very, very good, and then he just somehow shows up with a max army and just a little bit more superior control and rolls ya. Engineering bay on the way. We've got an armory up there getting vehicle weapons 1, academy done here 2, and tank production is going to be fairly consistent here for Flash. Second factory is done. He's going to mech this thing happen as he usually does against Protoss. It's just the most viable strategy in Brood War in 2016 and for a long time before that too. Oh, Reaver drops from Bisu. Okay, I'm liking this. I'm liking the Reaver drop aspect of this game. A lot of gateways coming up all along the single Artosis pylon. Hello, Artosis pylon. I believe that term actually came about in StarCraft 2, didn't it? I believe it did. Artosis was playing in a professional StarCraft 2 tournament. He had like a pylon just powering everything, and then he lost it, and it was a really sad moment. I have heard some people say he gets upset if you refer to it as an Artosis pylon, but just don't tell him I said that, and I won't rat you out either. Right. Citadel of Adun on the way from Bisu, going for Zealot legs, possibly going for Archons and Storm later. Storm is real useful in a lot of situations. I mean, Storm doesn't do a lot against tanks, but it does hit Vultures pretty hard. And if there are a few Marines around, it's good for them too. Although Flash is not making Marines, not by any stretch. Already going for Charon boosters. Where does he think there's a Sky Toss coming? I guess a Stargate is now happening. He might have scanned that and seen it. Third base coming up at the bottom left here for Flash. That is entirely naked. That is a ninja expand if there ever was one. And if Bisu scouts it, he can shut it down easily, but that's just it. You have to scout it. Setting up for a fourth base down here in a fairly walled and protected area. That means it's harder to defend, though, if a drop shows up. Reaver drop. Trying to make something happen here. And bam! Taking down one of the Goliaths. Sneaking through the power generators. I did not think that was a slot. But nicely done. Dragoon goes down, and Reaver without support. It's just a little ugly. Little ugly situation. Probably, honestly, could take down this Goliath if it wanted to, but decides to pull back instead. Just better safe than sorry at this stage of the game. Observer setting up at the front of Flash to see when he decides to move out. Additional factories on the way from Flash. There's really nothing too surprising here. Tanks running around inside this mineral line. Pathing is bad, you guys. And Brood War Flash is like, get out! Don't run around, and why are you in here? I don't know. And here comes the slow push, the slow siege. Dragoons trying to come in, finding themselves on the wrong end of +1 siege tanks. It is not ideal. Also scanning 2 observers and getting them with the Charon booster upgrade. I love that blue smoke so much. I don't know what it is, whether it's nostalgia or just blue's my favorite color. One of those two things, maybe a combination of both. All right, so here comes Flash. He's slowly sieging forward as he always does. Arbiter's on the way from Bisu. He's getting stasis field as is usual. You can't really engage the Terran army straight up when they're mech'd like this, when they have spacing like this, when they have enough tanks like this. You really want to go for recalls into their base and kill their stuff and just kind of hope you can do enough damage to their economy that eventually your army, though it is inferior in composition, can actually take down what is left of the Terran army. So we'll see if Bisu is able to pull this thing off today. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Have we seen Flash lose on the channel? I think we did see Flash lose a game. Was it to Zero or was it to Effort? It was a Zerg player. It was a weird game. I'm not entirely convinced that was from Flash. That's kind of one of the things about casting these replays is they're labeled Flash versus Zero or Flash versus Effort or Jaedong versus Shuttle, and you're just kind of like, well, I can't find this name on a Smurf list anywhere. This name they're playing under doesn't seem to be connected to Jaedong at all, but at the same time, why would someone try to fool me? And then they do anyway. It's difficult, but I'm doing my best here with it, and I hope you guys appreciate the effort. All right, so this base, if Bisu knew about it, he could have done a lot of damage to it previously, but now Flash is sitting on 5 bases. He's looking extremely strong. 5th base warping in on the right side for Bisu too. So he's no slouch. Not at all, but he's just not quite up there on the economy. Here comes the Protoss army though. Zealots getting right on top of these tanks, and I don't know if there are enough vultures to stop this. Reaver getting a nice shot off on that tank, injuring it so the Zealots can finish that sucker off, and pulling back to the safety of this tank on the high ground. Missile turret finishing off. Oh, the Observer lives with 1 hit point. Most of the army from Bisu marches over to the left side to force a liftoff on Flash's 5th base in the center section of the left side of this map. Zealots crushing whatever remains of the command center, fleeing for its life. Dragoons with +1 attack, trying to shoot it out of the sky here, and Flash very smartly pulling back. He was not prepared for that. That was more Zealots than I think he was expecting. He didn't have the vulture count that he normally does to deal with that, and Bisu deals the first blow in this game between these two legends. Vulture speed on the way, ion thrusters coming in for Flash. Somebody's building exit is locked. I wonder if it's one of these gateways, maybe? I don't think it's... maybe this guy? No, he's leaving space. Flash wouldn't make that mistake. I wonder who it is. I don't see anything here that's stopped up either. Game, you confuse me. Why are you making this weird error message? Yeah, I don't see it. We're not going to worry about it. We're really not going to worry about it. Did he see this base? He might have scanned and seen this base. Probe coming down to scout anyway. And by golly, if he gets this thing, Flash will be down to 3 bases compared to the 5 that Bisu's going to run with here. It is not... I mean, yeah, Flash is good, and Mech is superior to what we're seeing here from Bisu in a straight-up fight, but man, economy's a big deal. Bisu's maxed out. It's 200 to 154 supply right now. Zealot's getting into this mineral line for Flash. I don't know if Flash wants to engage here. Cloak is here from the Arbiter, and there are a lot of spider mines out. The vultures, the spider mine seems a little bit late compared to other stuff that's going on here. Get some cannons up. Does Bisu? That's friggin' hilarious that he gets cannons up to deny this base and hopefully take it himself. And this SCV train's going to take a lot of shots right to the face. Some of them will escape. That's a lot of dead workers right now. Flash can't afford to lose those guys either. I mean, you're not going to kill that command center, Bisu, if you're so inclined here, but I guess letting it escape is also totally fine. See, the 5th base is already back for Flash. He already reestablished that thing. No big deal. Bisu warping in at the top right. Arbiter trying to get in for that recall, and here it is! Dragoons and Zealots with +1 attack, getting right on top of supply depot, is going to try to supply block Flash here. Vulture's trying to deal with this. Shuttle really wants to... oh, is he actually doing... he's doing Shuttle Micro on these Zealots, trying to keep them alive. I don't know if this is really the damage that Bisu was going for, but he does supply block Flash fairly heavily, trying to focus those guys down. The Arbiter is providing cloaks. You have to consistently scan to even attack these guys. Bisu is doing this as good as you possibly can. Supply depot down once again. Flash is 25 supply down. Supply blocked. Vulture's just trying to deal with whatever's left of this army, and all the Zealots are definitely going to die, as well as the Dragoons, probably, just because they're so severely outnumbered to these +2 attack Vultures. Is there anything else going on? I kind of feel like these guys could make something of a push while we're all distracted down here, but I guess he did just send the Vultures, and the tanks are still alive, so maybe pushes are a thing of the past there. It's 192 to 154 supply, though. Bisu is up. Bisu has a base in this bottom left-hand corner. He's at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bases to the 4 that Flash is running with. If anybody can beat Flash, Bisu can do it, and especially if he's up 4 bases or 8 bases to 4 against the Terran player. So upgrades +2, +1 here on his mech. For Flash, Bisu sitting on +2 attack and working on the +3. It doesn't really worry about armor at least as far as this game is concerned, and making a nice probe transfer, guarding them quite nicely, so no vulture attacks can dart down and finish those guys off with that explosive damage. This probe needs to get back to work, you lazy bum. Bisu's not paying you to sit around. There you go. Well, you're going somewhere. I don't know. Oh, you're throwing up additional pylons. And another gateway, too. So more production facilities all the time. Bisu's up 200 to 181 supply. Remember what I said about Flash, though? And being down a whole ton of supply, and then suddenly he's fine anyway. I just kind of feel like that's what we're looking at today. Call me crazy, but I feel like that's a pretty legitimate possible outcome here. All right, so Zealots running around. We still have our shuttle. Oh, there's nothing in there. I guess now there are. Now there are Zealots in there with speed and almost +3 attack. Storm being researched by Bisu 2. Science vessels on the way from Flash, but he hasn't really been able to reestablish his, well, I guess 4th is here. He hasn't been able to get a 5th at all. Bisu clearing out some of these spider mines, just doing some spring cleaning. Tanking some tank fire too a little bit. Zealots don't, I mean, you don't really have to go in there if and you don't want to, but spider mine's getting cleared out, and Bisu's making a push. It's a maxed out army to a maxed out army right now. Good job with the stasis ward on a bunch of those tanks, but there are still so many remaining to the north here. I don't know if the Dragoons want to engage here or what. Defensive matrix on that tank. I'm not sure he's actually being hit by anything regardless here. Couple Goliaths out, going to try to get rid of the Arbiters, and by golly, they do. Man, Goliaths with Charon boosters are really good there, and Flash manages to hold. Pushing, counterattacking too, coming down with these vultures. Dragoons pushing them back with that +3 attack and that range. Another Arbiter going to get picked out of the sky, though. Too many Goliaths on the field to make Arbiters just hanging around a thing. Coming on in with some science vessels. I don't know if they have any energy remaining. Oh, there's another stasis field on a bunch of these tanks. Defensive matrix is up on these guys as well. Zealots and Dragoons trying to get on top of what remains here, but Flash is still making this counterattack happen. Bisu's making 15 Zealots at one time. One of the science vessels gets picked out of the sky. Nice micro and control there by Bisu. Can Bisu do this thing? I don't know, man. Flash is set up with +3 tanks right at his front door, which is exactly where he wants to be. Trying to break out with these tanks, but there are too many vultures and too many Goliaths remaining. I don't know if this is going to happen. Suddenly, the tables have turned 198 to 173 supply. Flash is making that counterattack and that comeback like I know he always likes to do. Tanks assaulting this natural base of Bisu from the low ground to the high ground. Now we're base hunting is Flash. The army for Bisu, kind of a little ragtag right now, not looking particularly healthy. But tanks setting up at this base along the right side for Bisu. Go ahead and shell this Nexus and this Nexus at the same time with all of these +3 tanks working on vehicle plating too, so they're fully upgraded tanks at some point. Bisu's making a couple Arbiters and a Dragoon, but everything's kind of trickling out right now, and when all your production facilities are right in front of a million tanks, where do you even go with these guys? He's hiding them up here. Is he going to go for maybe try like a recall, or... There's not a lot of anti-air down here. There is a Goliath with a couple kills, but more and more vultures pouring across the map. Tanks coming across to 200 to 166 supply. Arbiter running around a little bit helpless here, trying to come down from the top side and get a bit of a sandwich on Flash's army with these Dragoons with a +3 attack. Is it enough? Is the question. I'm not sure that it is. Flash so patiently sitting outside the front door of Bisu, having killed 2 of his Nexuses already. Another Nexus about to go down here. Bisu needs to make something happen, and he needs to make it happen now. And I just don't know what it is. He's making Dark Templar. He has the income to make this thing happen. He has so many bases still. Even after losing a couple of his Nexuses, he's mining a lot. And, oh, trying to hold this middle one is Flash, but no, Bisu shows up in time to shut that down. Okay, that might have been what he needed there. Flash still on the 4 base. He had the 5th base fleetingly there. Zealots coming up to kill more of these SCVs, but should be defended by reinforcing units coming out of Flash's factories. This Nexus is going to die. So the 3rd Nexus having gone down here, these tanks are just slowly whittling down every single gateway that Bisu has. And yeah, I mean, every one of these engagements is just going directly in Flash's favor right now. 192 to 110 supply. Bisu trying to make this thing happen. He really is. But no, there's a couple cannons defending, a couple zealots here. But when you're doubled up, 190 to 100 supply there versus Flash, the comeback is just not in the cards. Look at all this income too. He's trying to make additional gateways, trying desperately to hold on here, but losing all this production. What are we producing? Additional or just Arbiters. More and more Arbiters all day. I keep thinking this red thing's an Arbiter, but no recalls at all from Bisu. He had the one. And also rebuilding this command center in the middle is Flash while the Ursidon looks on. Flash going to finish this base off. He's going to finish off the base in the south here. Well, by the base in the south, I mean the main. And I don't know what Bisu's plan is. I guess try to reestablish his base in the bottom left-hand corner and see what happens. Arbiter just doing random shots off. Zealot's coming in here too, but taking a lot of spider mine shots. Ugh. Trying to drag them into the tanks. It's doing fairly well, but I don't know. This Arbiter doing its little piddly 10 damage per shot disruptor cannon thing, not doing much here. DTs. Oops, spider mines causing problems for those DTs though. Splash damage still hits Dark Templar. Even if you can't target them, splash damage will kill them. And DT actually unspotted here. I think Duke get up. Oh, wait, what the? Oh, there's a science vessel now. And he does get cleaned out there. Ouch. Ouch for him. 279 supply. Slow bleed here for Bisu. He was throwing down a lot of stasis, though. I can tell you that much. But again, prolonging the inevitable. There's so much orange on the map right now. There are little lines of orange going everywhere, every which way. Tanks and vultures in numbers like you see when you're dealing with somebody like Flash. Zealot trying to do stuff and just meeting resistance everywhere that they go. These Arbiters cleaning out some of these tanks that are directly shelling this Nexus. Give it! Give it! Wait, are they not? They can't hit it? They can't hit it. What was hitting it? Something was hitting it. Still alive, though. And that's it. Bisu is gone. Flash is your winner in 22 minutes and 12 seconds. And that's it. That's exactly how we kind of expected that to go. Flash was down big. He lost a couple bases. It was looking real ugly for him. And then somehow he finds it in him to make a ton of tanks and vultures and just slow push his way across the map, set up in front of Bisu's natural and third, kill them both at the same time, and then win the game. Bisu had all the bases in the world compared to Flash, and it didn't matter. It just didn't matter at all. The longer the game went on, the stronger Flash was, and Bisu was forced to tap out. So let's check out that final score here. And it's going to be Flash produced about 70 more units compared to Bisu, 398 to 328, killed about double of what Bisu was able to kill, and lost about 80 fewer. Structures killed here, Flash in a landslide there too, raised 63 to 18. And then income, actually somehow, oh, there we go, Bisu. Hang on, was I getting these backwards? No, it flip-flops them. Okay, so Bisu mined 9,000 more minerals and spent 7,000 more resources in general compared to Flash, and ended up losing the game. It's just a testament to who Flash is and what he's capable of. Is all it is. Oh. Alrighty then. Well, that's going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, and Patreon, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.